Hello, my name is Elena Iachifano, and I teach cooking classes for Colavita Olive Oil. At Colavita, we have a special fondness for pizza, and so today I'm going to demonstrate for you how to make our spring-summer zucchini pizza, and we're going to start by showing you how to make homemade pizza dough. Now, homemade pizza dough can be intimidating, but it's exceptionally simple, and the only thing that it requires from you is a little patience and time. So we're going to start with some warm water, about a cup and a half, and we're going to pour that into a bowl. And we have a package of active dry yeast, and we're going to put that right into the warm water, sprinkle it over the top. And then we're going to take, we have 2 cups of flour for the entire recipe, so we're going to take about half of that, about 1 cup, and we're going to put that in. Mix it right in with the yeast. You can use a little whisk, you can use a fork. It doesn't have to be perfect. It's going to look like a mess. That's totally fine. And then we're going to cover it and let it stand for about 30 minutes or so. You're going to want it to get nice and bubbly. That's the yeast starting to activate. So when that happens, after 30 minutes, it should look a little foamy, like so. And this is when you can start to use it. So we're going to take this flour, yeast, and water mixture, and we're going to place it into your mixer. Now, if you don't have a stand mixer like this, don't worry. You can actually do this by hand if you like, or you can do it in your food processor. Anything that mixes. We're going to add the rest of our flour. This is all-purpose white flour. And we're going to add 2 cups of whole wheat flour. And we have about a teaspoon of salt. I'm going to put that in. We're going to lower our mixer. And let it go on low speed. You don't want to do high speed at this point because you're going to disappear in a mushroom cloud of smoke. The flour. And we're going to let that incorporate for a couple of minutes. And then stop the mixer and scrape down the sides a bit to help it along. All right. Okay, at this point, our dough has been mixing for about 5 minutes, so we can go ahead and release it from our mixer. And just scrape it with your hands off the dough hook, like so. All right. And then we are going to turn it out onto a floured surface and knead it with our hands for just a minute. And I like to knead it with my hands because it gives me a feel for the dough. So I just put a little all-purpose flour on my work surface and roll it away from me, back towards me, away from me, and back towards me. And turn it slightly as you're doing it. And the dough should start to spring back to you after a little while, which is the gluten in the flour starting to activate. And you want this to happen because this is what makes your pizza dough strong, and the toppings don't fall through to the bottom. So you should see as it forms a little ball that it will be nice and springy. You can poke it a few times, it's okay. And then at this point, you are going to put it in a bowl, dust it with some flour, and let it rise for about 3 hours. So you can go have a party and come back, and you'll be ready for pizza. After about 3 hours, your dough should have doubled in size. So you will get a nice big piece of dough. It should be slightly springy. So you can turn this out onto your work surface and section it out into little dough balls. Now, if you have a scale, you can use a scale to measure about 7 to 8 ounces per serving of dough. And that will make personal size pizzas. If you don't, you can eyeball it. That's fine. And I like to use one of these little guys to cut off big chunks. And make sure they're all kind of the same size. These are a little big. It's okay. We have hungry people today. And just form them with your hands into a little ball. Dust them with a little bit of flour. Like that. You can pinch them at the bottom to make them nice and round. Or you can roll them with your hands like this. Get it into a nice rhythm. And there you have it. I like to pinch them because it makes a nice smooth top. This guy. All right, leave them on your work surface, cover them with some plastic wrap. You can oil the plastic wrap with a little Colavita if you like, so it doesn't stick. Depending on the humidity or the warmth of your kitchen, the dough will stick to the top of your plastic wrap. And you do want to cover them because if not, a crust will form on the top of the dough, and that's not so attractive or tasty. So keep them covered, oiled with a little Colavita, and in about 20 to 30 minutes, you can roll them out and make your pizza. So that's how you prep your pizza dough. And next time we'll cover some toppings. Thanks for watching.